Hello guys, so today I'll be doing the first episode on F1 22 My Team Career Mode. I'm going to be starting a brand new team. As you can tell, I'm going to fumble a little bit between which type of team to choose, but I chose newcomer at the end. Just wanted to be a bit more difficult. In terms of a season, I wanted this to be kind of short, so I went for 10 races. Again, I fumbled a bit, but in the end, here as you can tell, you can see what kind of stuff I choose. I remove, add some tracks. In the end, I didn't actually show you the calendar, but I'm gonna show you at some point probably. But I think it's pretty decent, the calendar. Here I just went and adjusted some settings, and then we go into the My Team stuff actually, where I selected the My Team icons.
First things first, let's create your driver.
And here is where I do the driver. As for the driver, I decided to use the avatar that I always use. Let me just find where it is. That's Yarno, that's Tanitza, and that's Brendan Lee. It's an interesting character. I've seen Lucas Blakely use it. Yeah, there he is. Let's just wait for the game to load up, and there he is. This is my guy. He looks the most like me, to be honest. In terms of nationality, I could not really choose, but I decided to not go with my nationality. I decided to go with a different one. In this case, Icelandic. I decided to be Icelander. Then for the name, I decided to Google a little bit what kind of names there are in Iceland, and I chose Aaron. And then for the last name, I just made it Kristjansson, because that's kind of, I guess that would be the final name in the if I married a Icelandic person. That's what the child name will be, so that's why I went for that. In terms of a nickname, for some reason there isn't Aaron, so I had to go with something else, so I went with Ace in this scenario. And for the driver number, I initially chose 72, as you're gonna see here, but then I thought about it a bit more and I went for number 90. No particular reason for number 90, just decided to go for that.
And now, let's focus on your drivers.
Then for the driver suit and stuff, I decided not to bore you too much with what I choose. Instead, here's the final result. The helmet has the Icelandic colors and the race suit has the Icelandic colors.
Boss, let's get this team up and running. The first thing we need to do is register a team name and bring in some important partners.
First,
enter a team name.
As Paul said, just enter the team name and stuff. For team name, I decided to go with AK F1 team. Aron Christiansen F1 team, basically, that's what it means.
Now, let's choose our primary sponsor for this season.
I'm not gonna bore you too much with the primary sponsor. Yes, he told us this for the drivers. In case you're wondering, for the power unit, I chose Mercedes. No, because it has 100 reliability, and I could still afford an 800k teammate. As you can tell, I was fumbling a bit between Richard Verscheur and Marcus Armstrong. Now, Verscheur does have a lower pace stat by 1, but his other stats were better. As you can tell, we're gonna go for delivery. I just couldn't be bothered to show you, so here it is. Looks pretty good, isn't it? Man, this guy speaks way too much, to be honest. Yeah, as you can tell here, we skip Will Buxton. I just could not be bothered to show you the interview. I just went for chassis and aero. I really could not be bothered to show you what fucking the dude wanted to do. I just could not be bothered. Here I went for 50% on the aero, on the focus and stuff, on that stuff. Mainly because I wanted to get an upgrade. In this scenario, the Venturi tunnels. However, as you're gonna see a bit later, the upgrade kind of failed, so guess we don't have an upgrade, do we? Kind of unfortunate, to be honest. Anyways, as you can tell, I got some more R&D and I decided to put it on a power upgrade that time around. And here we go, weekly resources, the aero and chassis focus. As you can tell, it failed.
Production line earlier this week, so the entire development package for this weekend has failed. Any redevelopments will need to be ordered from the R&D screen.
As you can tell, I reordered the upgrade and I also got a chassis upgrade pending now. Yeah, that was good because I really wanted to get an upgrade for this weekend. So see if we can move up just a little bit in the pecking order. But unfortunately, I could not get any upgrades. So we are sitting pretty at 9th best team or the third worst team. That also works. Only teams worse than us are, surprise surprise, Aston Martin and Williams, which are consistently been shit throughout this year. Also note that Ferrari are still doing pretty well in the game. I'm surprised the pitfalls has not done too many bad things for them. That's something that they tend to do, to be fair. Anyway, as you can tell, it's now gonna load any second now, and Paul is gonna talk too much.
Hello. I see you found your
Pierre, I
workstation.
mean.
My name is Pierre. I'm your man for all things R&D.
Shut
Lack
up.
of rubber out on track, so take it easy for the first couple of laps.
Yeah, so I could not be bothered listening to Pierre, so I decided to just skip that part and just go straight to FP1, which the game forces you to do the first FP1 session every time, which is kind of annoying, to be honest, but the game just does it, so like there's not much I can do about that. I'm just coming out of the pit, gonna try and warm up the tires right now on the out lap, which is very important, as you can probably guess, because the tires are extremely cold nowadays in F1. 71 degrees, as you can tell, by the end of the lap, 89. So I can start pushing on this track acclimatization program that I decided to do in this case. However, it didn't go exactly to plan, I won't lie, as you're gonna see in a little bit. So first corner, okay, I lock up, but I still got pretty decent speed. Here I got very bad corner exit, just did not do it well. Here's what I mean at this corner, just ran completely wide, and you think that's already not very good, to be honest, but as you can tell, the next corner I also fumble it. Specifically this turn 10, I just fumbled turn 10 as well. So instead of wasting your time on that lap, watch this lap, which is way better. As you can tell, pretty good entry into the first corner, still very bad speed to the first part of turn 2, but the second part was actually pretty alright. Turn 3 good, DRS zone perfect on the millimeter, as I always do. Slow down for turn 4, I ran a bit wide, small lock up there, but nothing too bad, to be honest. Now through this chicane here, 5th gear and 6th, overall pretty decent. And turn 8, I actually managed to nail it this time. But actually I did not quite nail it, I actually take a slightly different line through there most of the time, but it was better. Here, strange downshifts and stuff, but I managed to get the turn in, which is important. Something that's really difficult to do on these car tires is the turn in, so that was good that I got it. Then over here, turn 11, down to 4th, unfortunately. I wanted to stick in 5th, but I downshift too much. It was still fast enough, apparently. Here in my team car, I cannot take that flat. If I was doing that in the Mercedes, Red Bull or Ferrari, I probably would be able to take it flat. Kinda slow through there, but apparently not for purple, so whatever. We go to the outside. Here we get a decent gear, turn 14 a bit slow, which can be seen by turn 15, where I just got it really bad in the final DRS zone, and in the end that's 495 points apparently, of 525. So that's purple. Then after this I did the fuel saving program, which ended up doing pretty well. Then after that I decided to just go to straight up quick practice. Nothing too much, I did not record that for whatever reason, which was kind of dumb from my side.
Let's run you through the driver grid.
Okay, so apparently I didn't even record the qualifying, but here we're gonna see the results. So Max pole position, Sergio second. The rest of the field, Sainz was third, Russell was fourth, Leclerc was fifth, Ricciardo sixth, and we managed to qualify in seventh, believe it or not. Ahead of Bottas. Here Ocon and Hamilton top 10 rounded off. Alonso, Magnussen, Schumacher, Vettel. Gasly and Tsunoda right next to each other, very mediocre. Extremely mediocre from Norris though. Albon doing well, Latifi the GOAT, and unfortunately that teammate was very much in the last place. Not really something that we wanted, to be honest. So I did some stuff with the setup and things like that. But in the end, here we are on the formation lap, lining up, warming up the rears, just that little bit extra. And as we go into the grid for lineup, I managed to get a purple one, so that's pretty good. Now we just have to wait for everyone else, and we're gonna get a decent launch. If you wanna get a good launch, put your diff to 70% before you line up. Like on your formation up, just put it to 70%. That way you get a decent launch. I hold the clutch, we go up to 1000 RPM right around there, and we get a very good launch actually. We make our way up past Charles Leclerc, now we're up to 5th. Now decent braking, we make a little bit of contact with Sainz but no damage. We go around the outside and we're up into 3rd, believe it or not. Now we get a very good run off of this corner, we can almost go alongside Max Verstappen. Here into the braking, late braking, good turn, and we get past Max Verstappen and we're into 2nd place, believe it or not. Right at the start of the race. Here I'm just adjusting my diff again, so we're down to 55%, which is the normal amount for this track. Now going to turn 8 here, we're still pretty close, but ooh, I just got some snap there, and now I've already lost Perez basically. He's already over a second ahead. Here Max tries to make the move around the outside, but he just locks up and loses a position to Sainz, whom is right up my gearbox, by the way. Let's keep a bit forward. Here we are into my favorite corner. You can see why it's favorite, because I'm not good at it. Just about avoid contact with Sainz. And now Max Verstappen will try and size up a move into the final corner against me. However, he actually manages to size it up against Sainz as well, but not quite. Doesn't quite make it stick, but he does get past me now. Let's skip to the end of the next lap, where we notice we have some very bad company in the form of Hamilton and in the form of within my DRS. But right now we are still able to keep up with everyone else on the straights, which you'll see later is not quite the case towards the end of the race. Anyways, they were close enough to Sainz through there to get his DRS, so I am still able to keep up with Sainz and kind of able to hold up Hamilton, but by the end of lap 4, that's not really the case anymore. But at the start of lap 4, here going to the first corner, Hamilton tries to seize up a move on me, however he unfortunately cannot hold it around the outside, so he cannot pass me, but right in the next corner, as you can tell, he's able to make a move stick somewhat, but I managed to get the all switcheroo around on Hamilton, which means I get to keep my 4th place for now. However, now at the start of lap 5, as you can tell, he actually got passed by a lot of people. Now it's Charles Leclerc who's making a move on me, much further on the corner. He's now ahead of me and I have to just let go of the gas, otherwise he's gonna squeeze me off the road. And I don't even have DRS to add insult to injury, and look who's behind me now again, it's Lewis Hamilton. I tried to cover him off, sort of, but I run wide a little bit, and he tries to make the move on me now. And we're gonna be side by side going into the chicane, and in fact we almost touch, but I get to keep the 5th position for now, with decent control. Now, on to lap 6, I managed to run wide on turn 1, but Hamilton cannot make the move on me yet. And I have DRS now, so I can hold him off just a little bit. Or can I? As you can tell, I'm struggling in the straight line speed compared to Hamilton. And then I run a little bit wide, but Hamilton still cannot make the move on me. He's still struggling to do so. Here we bang wheels going into the chicane, which means I still keep my position. But now there's a 2-second gap to Leclerc, and by the end, at the start of lap 7, that is now a 3-second gap. And now Hamilton can finally make the move on me. I let him kind of pass, mainly because they're really slow through the first corner for whatever reason. And here on the exit they're really fast. However, I do get DRS, which should help me protect myself from Russell for the time being. And we almost can make a move on Hamilton, however it's really foolish and I cannot really make it stick on the outside. Let's skip to lap 8, where Russell tries to make a move going into turn 4, but we touch wheels and I keep my position, which is awesome. Here going into the chicane, he's still really close to me. He's still 0.2 seconds behind, and I try to just make sure I do not do any mistakes, but I do make a mistake going to turn 8. However, Russell still cannot make the move on me for whatever reason. He just doesn't have the confidence. Here he forces me out off the line. I was pretty much fully covering the inside, but he forces his way there and he runs me off, and now I lose many positions and I'm all the way down to 9th. Unfortunately, after this point, not much happened until the pit stop phase. Bottas pit before me, the lap before, decided to stick it out for one more lap and then come into the pits. And I actually follow Ricciardo in. He's actually going in for a pit stop as well. Here's Hamilton in front of me on the hards. And now let's try and get a turn in. Yes, this is a bug on PC, but here we go. We got an optimal turn in. Now we're just gonna try. Oh, that is unfortunate. I just got a badly fit tire. That is so unfortunate. That was not what we needed. And also the tires are cold now, so I'm gonna be struggling for pace. Now look at Ricciardo. Look at where he is. He's 3.8. Even 4 seconds, I would say, in front of me right now. Yeah, I also have a slight advantage that I do not have, which is the fact that for whatever reason they seem to have much warmer tires when they leave the pit, because this, as you can tell, me driving there, that's the limit of the grip. Like, the car just understeers a lot. Here I have to hold it in 5th and then short shift because I would spin otherwise. Here I actually lock up just a little bit, but I still managed to hit the apex, which is pretty good. However, as you can tell, Alonso is going to be on my ass throughout this outlap now. Here I make a mistake into turn 10, he gets alongside, but he does not quite have the momentum to get past me. Now, using ERS down here, I have managed to save up some ERS, but unfortunately it is not enough. Alonso makes his way past, and he even starts to already pull away from me, as you can tell. I still did not have the confidence to go full throttle there, but apparently Alonso can do that. Here I get a pretty decent corner actually, which is pretty good. However, I managed to get a snap on the exit, just due to the colder tires. And now Bottas is gonna try and make his way past. He's gonna try and put his nose in the final corner. What am I saying? But he manages to touch with my car with his front wing, which allows me to just keep my position for just a little bit longer. I also have DRS now, which is pretty good. However, asking though, Bottas can still almost get alongside me, and in fact he tries to send one up the inside into the first corner. However, unfortunately that tight line is never going to work properly. And I still have DRS from Alonso. However, now Bottas is fully alongside. He's gonna try and send one up the inside. However, he still cannot make the move stick, which is really weird. I'm guessing he's taking a line that's a bit too tight, but well, it wasn't really working for him. But now, as you can tell, skipping the lap 16, he just got past me, but I managed to actually return the favor and get the old switcheroo, as Crafty would say. Which means I still get to keep my measly P11. Here he tries once again to send one up the inside, and in fact we almost make contact, but thankfully I get to keep my position through there. Now coming into turn 10, I managed to make a small mistake, but it's not really enough for Bottas to pass me just yet. Especially when I use DRS, I'm able to keep him at bay for the moment. However, as you can probably guess, that's not gonna last for too long. Or is it? Because let's skip here. Now look at the map. Bottas is in the pits. He must have gotten damage whilst we were fighting, because why else would he come into the pits? Now as you can tell, there's a 1.2 second gap to Schumacher, and we're gonna skip forward to lap 24. I didn't really show it, but I was able to build almost a 4-second gap, but then for some reason on lap 23 I just lost so much time to Schumacher. Like I was 3 seconds ahead, and then in a single lap I lost over 2 seconds to Schumacher. As you can tell, he's actually getting within my DRS now, which is unfortunate. My engineer also told me at one point that I had a problem with my engine. When I heard that there's some sort of problem on the radio, I just got a heart attack, to be honest, because yeah, like you don't really expect that when you're doing a race. And usually when they say that, it's usually a terminal problem. In my case, apparently it was not terminal. However, what it was terminal was that mistake that I just did. which brought Schumacher well within my DRS range. I was feeling the pressure from Schumi, and unfortunately I could not hold my own there. And skipping to the, not even the final corner, as you can tell, Schumacher makes the move on me. And here's the worst part, I have DRS, but look at this, he is pulling away from me on the straight. And Gasly behind with the DRS, he is making up so much time. Now coming into the turn number 4, Gasly tries to make a move on me, however he's not quite close enough to make it stick. However, I get a massive snap of oversteer, which invites Gasly into the inside. However, we're going into the chicane, so I'm able to keep my position for now. However, I can already feel that this is not gonna hold out for much longer than a lap. Especially because, look at the gap now, Schumacher is 2 seconds ahead of me within a lap. He's already gapped me, so I have no DRS. I have crap straight line speed due to an engine problem, and I have no DRS as well. Like, everything is stacked against me, and in fact here, Gasly makes his way past me for a second, but here I'm able to just hold around the outside, and we're still side by side going into here. However, I have the inside line, which means I have just enough traction to get ahead of him. However, I already know that I'm gonna get passed. And in fact, looking at here, I'm using DRS and everything, and look, he's just walking past me, as if I have a GP2 engine. Like this is truly a
GP2 engine. GP2.
So now that I've established that I have a GP2 engine, as you can tell, Gasly is going past me, and I didn't show it there for whatever reason, but he did not have DRS there. He was without DRS, and here into turn 4 he tries to make his way past again, and we make contact with wheels, thankfully. No damage onto our cars. But now we're 3 wide going into the chicane. This is dumb. This is stupid. They're doing everything possible in their hand, everything that's possible to try and get past me. Meanwhile, I do everything possible to let them pass me, because I make a mistake into turn 8. Now into turn 10. I keep my line, but Gasly makes a fatal mistake. He runs wide, beaches himself, and he falls down the grid. And now I have Lando Norris behind. And as you can tell, I formed a 4-second, almost a 5-second gap. You're gonna think that I'm gonna be able to hold this to the end of the race, right? Well, let's skip a bit till the end of lap 7, and look, it's already 1 second, the gap. In fact, it's gonna fall under 1 second now on the back straight. And look, and this is the problem, look at how much he's catching me on the straight. He has no DRS, by the way. He's without DRS. He can get DRS on me. Here I cover off the inside, thankfully, and so Norris has to hold his horses a bit, but here he has DRS now. I don't, because I'm 6 seconds behind Magnussen. Which means Norris is gonna try and make a move, and I run wide now. Which is unfortunate. I was actually able to keep up kind of okay with him at the start, because he made some mistakes, but now we're just gonna skip to lap 29. So he's already 2 seconds ahead of me within half a lap. And then not much happened for the rest of the lap. Alex Albon did get pretty close to me in the end. However, we're gonna take the checkered line in P13. Not ideal. I would say so. Not very ideal personally. Now let's look at the results. As you can tell, Sergio Perez won the race, followed by Carlos Sainz and Max Verstappen in 3rd, with Charles just outside the top 3, which is unfortunate. Lando did not make it to the points, but he got driver of the day, as you're going to hear right now.
I think for driver of the day, I'd probably pick Lando Norris. He lived up to every inch of his reputation today, and I think he'll be going home, quite rightly, a bit proud of himself.
Yeah, I don't really care for the rest. Here's the acclaim in the damage, in the base payout and stuff. I managed to not get any damage, which was pretty good, to be fair. Now we're just gonna go into the headquarters again and just do some activities for the next race, which will be in Saudi.
Is getting pretty low.
Apparently our cash is pretty low. It's at $1 million roughly. Here we have a personnel event.
We have a couple of options here.
For sure, I was wondering, awareness or pace? I decided that his pace was a little more important because he already had pretty decent awareness for a rookie. you're gonna get 7 pace for that, so that's plus 7 pace. Here I was wondering what to do. Do I do chassis team building or weight training? I decided to go for the weight training. Here I was just wandering around what to do. Decided to go into the R&D tab. I have 2 upgrades, 2 aero upgrades pending, so I just decided to skip forward in time and see what happens. Here, as you can tell, the ventriculums came through. I don't think I did anything else on the R&D. And yeah, that's kind of basically it. For the next episode, we're going into the Jeddah Corniche circuit. It's one of my best tracks, actually. I'm pretty good at it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit thumbs up and subscribe, please. I'll see you next time. Very nice. Bye.